Well. We got the red lights on because we are under attack. DFW's under attack. Luka Doncic has been traded to the freaking Lakers, man. And look, I'm usually talking about realignment, college football, all that stuff. It's all good. I don't do live streams on Sunday. I don't talk NBA. I really don't. But I am a Dallas Mavericks fan. It was unavoidable. This is the biggest holy shit trade that has ever happened in any sport. Any sport. And nothing against Anthony Davis. All right? He's an insanely great talent. He really is. Luka's like an international star, dude. He speaks like 3 different languages. And look, let me just say this and kind of give you some history of how it is here in Dallas and Fort Worth. Because, most people that watch my channel, they're not from here. But if you go back to the year 2000, all right, and you said, hey, who are the most beloved sports icons in Dallas Fort Worth? You'll probably get to about 10 to 12 Dallas Cowboy players or former Dallas Cowboy players before you get to anybody from any other sport, before you get to a Texas Ranger, before you get to a Maverick, before you get to a Dallas Sidekick or the Stars. It's just a Cowboys town, all right? And it was unimaginable that anybody else can sneak up into that top 10. And then in the late 90s, Dallas does a little trade. They trade the rights to Tractor Trailer to get Dirk Nowitzki. And in the ensuing 21, 22 years, he was a Dallas Maverick. He's become the most beloved sports star, sports icon in Dallas, above all the Cowboys, all of them. And all those Cowboy players that you can all probably name, they all have MVPs. They're all Hall of Famers. They got multiple championships. They're just part of the lexicon. Dirk, 1 MVP, 1 championship, most beloved player. Because in Dallas-Fort Worth, it's more than just winning championships. It's showing loyalty to a place. Dirk isn't even from Texas. Hell, he's not even from America. He's from some little pissant town in Germany. Came here barely speaking English. And we fell in love with him, and he fell in love with us. And he's ours. As much as he belongs to Germany, he belongs to DFW, Texas. And it was a sad freaking day when Dirk plays his last game, dude. Teary-eyed, everybody in North Texas, especially DFW, sad as hell to see that guy go. But who was on the floor at the same time? Luka. And this kid, insanely talented and unique story, started being a professional basketball player, 12, 13 years old, somewhere in there, playing against grown freaking men and killing them. And then we get him. And for years, we've been giving the Atlanta Hawks fans all kinds of shit, right? Because we did the little trade, and I can't think of the kid's name. Damn it, Trey something. Anyway, so there was all this debate: who got the best part of the trade? Was it Dallas with Luka or Atlanta with Trey? Whatever his name is. And now we have to say Atlanta won. Because Trey, whomever, is still freaking there. Luka's gone. He got us to an NBA Finals last year, just last year, and you trade him at the age of 20 freaking 5 years old. And Anthony Davis is really good. Apparently, the other guy we got is a pretty good young player. You know, and you tie that with what we have with Kyrie Irving, you got about a 3 or 4 year window to win a title. And it doesn't matter. You can win one, you can win two, you can go back to back. It won't make up the difference for trading Luka. Because with the Cowboys, it's about winning titles. With everybody else, it's about getting you from the start and loving you through your career, and you finish with the uniform. They didn't allow Luka to do that. And what I've heard, now Dallas is below the salary cap. I didn't have a good feeling when Mark Cuban sold the majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks. Now he's a minority owner, silent guy, just off to the side collecting his little mailbox money. If Mark Cuban was still in control of this bitch, this trade doesn't happen. Or if it does happen, you go out to the open market and you get a gigantic freaking haul for a guy who's at least the top 3 player in the NBA. At the age of 25, he's not even in his prime yet. From what I've been reading and watching podcasts, everyone from Bill Simmons to the Locked On, Dallas Mavericks guys and all that, and they got 40,000 subscribers over there. Not bad for Locked On Mavericks. Anyway, what's been reported so far is that nobody knew about this trade deal. Absolutely, stunningly, freaking nobody knew. Nico Harrison called one guy, Mr. Pelinka, over there with the Lakers, and that was it. That was it. Now, I understand Nico Harrison has a relationship with AD. Cool. But this is one of the biggest assets in the NBA. And you're going to get one first-round draft pick in 2029. The Lakers, if you had to have the Lakers, get all of their picks. All of them. They had another one in 2031. I'm sure they had some other shit scattered around. Some trade swaps. No? Did Mr. Pelinka, I can't put in a second first rounder for Luka? Bullshit. So you didn't maximize, nowhere close to maximizing your deal. Albeit AD and Kyrie Irving, a hell of a combination. They'll probably compete for a title this year, and in the ensuing couple of years, wouldn't shock me if they won one. But what happens in 5 or 6 years, and those guys are out of the NBA or they're playing somewhere else, they're old, and they're no longer at the... Anthony Davis has always struggled with injury history. That doesn't get better with age. So 4 or 5 years down the road, this is a wasteland. We have nothing. Don't talk about the future. I think it was Nico Harrison or somebody came out and, well, this is but for right now and for the future. No, it's not for the future. You don't trade for a 32-year-old and talk about it being about the future. It's about the right now. The next 3-4 years, which technically I guess is the future. But I'm talking 10 years down the road. The shit don't make sense. They're worried about him coming in to training camp fat. They're saying he's like 275 pounds right now. He's like 6'7". He's like 6'7". He's always been a thick dude. That's just part of who he is. I understand maybe you wanted to, get a little bit better with the meals and the beer and all that. Again, if Mark Cuban was here, he'd probably think of ways to get to the guy. I'm not saying Mark Cuban ain't around, but he ain't got the pull and the stroke anymore. But I'm racking my brain trying to think of, because there's been nothing, no talk of him asking for a trade. That's off the table. He did not want out of Dallas, at least not right now. They just got to the freaking finals. It seems like he enjoys playing a lot with Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving enjoyed playing with him. So the chemistry was good. And the money, he was about to get that Supermax deal, right? $345 million for 5 years. New ownership. And see, here's my other problem. Okay, I could blame this on bad ownership. Like, oh my God, these guys are cheap. They just want to be under the salary cap. They don't give a damn about what the team does. That's not exactly true, because marketing for Luka is big time, because it's international marketing, not just American marketing. So they can pull in money from all over the place. And given who Nico Harrison is and who he has relationships with, he has a lot of relationships with people high up in the Laker organization. But why did it have to be the Lakers? You can't tell me that you couldn't have had a 4 or 5 team trade here and just be washed. You could have Anthony Davis and a shit ton of draft picks. There's all kinds of ways to make this thing work. It didn't have to work just like this. There was no big hurry. Luka's got another year and a half on his contract, his current contract. So it's not a big rush. See what I'm saying? So all the basketball ways of thinking about this, none of them make sense. And I'm watching the Bill Simmons podcast. He's got a couple other guys on who are astute in NBA knowledge. They've been around ESPN and all that shit, and they've been in the draft rooms. They've covered the draft. They covered every single thing in the NBA, and they're all flabbergasted. They don't understand. They're trying to make sense of this trade. Why would you do this trade? Why? Okay, if you want to put Luka on the open market, why didn't you put him on the open market? Because live during the Bill Simmons podcast, one of the reporters he had on had texted a number of different teams, hey, did y'all know anything about Luka being available? They were all shocked. Like, we would have loved to have been in on this. We would have given an offer. We could have beat that offer from the Lakers. We could have done all this shit. What in the F? Nobody knew shit. Luka didn't know. Anthony Davis didn't know. LeBron didn't know. Nobody knew. So get your tinfoil hat, because mine, believe it or not, this UPS hat is made out of tinfoil. And it's got frozen pizza grease. If all of this shit doesn't make sense, then it isn't the reason. It isn't because Luka's fat. Get that out of your head. Oh, he's got injury issues. So does Anthony Davis for his entire career. Plus, he's about to turn 32. Luka's about to turn 26. That's a 6-year age gap. Like I said, Luka's not even in his prime yet. What the F are you doing? And it's not like LA had the one thing you had to have, and no one else can offer you anything else. Like I said, there's no open market. You didn't have teams competing to get Luka, where you could maximize your haul. None of that happened. None of it happened. All of it under the cover of darkness. The rest of the NBA has no clue. Only the Mavericks, only the Lakers. What the hell is going on? Because none of your normal reasons why you would trade a very highly valuable asset. I mean, think of all the people in the last 30, 40 years, biggest names that have been traded, the most lucrative names, the most marketable names, the biggest players with the biggest brands being traded, the LeBrons, the KDs, all these guys. It never came out of left field. The players knew and were for being traded, or they were insisting on the trade. It went to an open market to where those franchises can get max value for that player every time. The only time it didn't happen is when a player said, I want to go here, make it happen. And if you try to trade me somewhere else, I'm going to decline the trade because I have a no trade clause. Dude didn't have a no trade clause. Luka Doncic did not have a no trade clause. Anthony Davis did, but no one else did. So how, if all the logical reasons, if there is any logical reasons to do this, none of them apply. So if you can rule out all the probable reasons for this to happen, then the improbable is the reason. That's the only thing you're left with. Is the conspiracy in this instance. What's the conspiracy? The NBA has been losing money out of their ass. Their viewership numbers have tanked over the last 10 years, but really they've tanked since Jordan left. I believe the NBA Finals was down like 50-something percent. Overall viewership down like 40, 50-something percent over the last 10 years. And I found it inconceivable that Mark Cuban would ever sell the Dallas Mavericks. Folks, the league is dying. That's the only thing that makes any damn sense at all. This league is dying. And it's dying because people are refusing to give a shit anymore. And they rigged this shit. That's the only thing that makes any sense. The league stepped in to Nico Harris and the Mavericks. I don't know what they offered him. Because like I said, it's not Mark Cuban. There was no paying off Mark Cuban. He wanted to win. But this new group is a little different. This new group's a little different. Maybe there was something thrown in behind the scenes. They said, hey, we want Luka in LA. That'll boost the numbers, not just for LA, but for the whole league. We need this spice. We need this excitement. We got to generate something because we're losing our ass and we're losing our viewership. I know all this sounds like tinfoil hat kind of shit. Like I said, I'm wearing a tinfoil hat right now. But if you take out all the logical reasons that you ever to trade a guy who's 25, not in his prime, but still one of the top 3 players in the league, why would you trade the guy? Year and a half left on his deal. It doesn't have to be done right now. And you don't go in the open market. Then what are you left with? All the usual ways to do business are taken out. You're left with one thing. The NBA rigged this shit. The NBA rigged it because they're in financial fucking hot water. Maybe not. And I'm saying they may have flush in cash right now, but down the road, when you're losing viewership like this last NBA deal that they got may be the last big deal they get. They're not going to keep jumping up in value. Not when you keep losing viewership like you do. So they're trying to create viewership, trying to create teams for in highly valued markets. Now, Dallas-Fort Worth is a huge market, but it's a Dallas Cowboy market. It's not a Dallas Maverick market. LA is a Lakers market. New York is a Knickerbocker market. I would argue Chicago is a Bulls market. Boston, I know the Patriots, but the Patriots have been shit forever. The Celtics have been everything since the 70s dynasty into the 80s dynasty. They've been huge. That's a Celtic town. Well, Red Sox town, then a Celtic town. New York, I know. The Yankees, but the Knicks are right there. They're beloved. And Dallas-Fort Worth, we love our Mavericks, but they're not beloved like the Cowboys are. That's the only thing that makes any sense. All right. Thanks for Luka, numbskull. Treat AD well. Yeah. Don't thank me, because if I was the GM, no, I would have. He would have been available to sign for that Supermax in the summer. He would have signed. I would have signed his ass up. I don't give a damn if he's sitting there smoking cigarettes and eating chocolate eclairs while he's signing the shit. If he signed it in chocolate, I don't care. I'm signing that dude to the Supermax for 5 years. Wet blanket, dumbass trade. It was a dumbass trade. Like I said, I don't care if the Mavericks win back-to-back titles with AD. It's a dumb fucking trade. It's not about the number. It's about, that's Luka, who could have been here for the next 15 years. 15 years. He's an attraction all by himself. Like I said, Dirk won 1 title and is the most beloved sports figure at Dallas-Fort Worth, above all the Cowboys, all the legends of the Cowboys, because he played here for 22 years and was loyal. He took less money on a lot of those contracts to try to win. We appreciate that shit. That's why he's on such a pedestal. That 1 championship is worth more than a couple Cowboys Super Bowls to a lot of us. It is to me. It means more because of who Dirk is and his character and his loyalty. The connection he had with the fans is unlike a lot of those Cowboys. Even though we love Michael Irvin, because Michael Irvin is all about the Cowboys, and we're all about Michael Irvin. But Dirk is just on another level. What's up? What's up, John? Appreciate you. Mr. Ryan Willie, man, thank you so much. You don't have to do that. All right, I'll never push anyone for a super chat or anything. But hey, I appreciate you. Doesn't Luka have anger issues? But in the best way, in like a Michael Jordan kind of way. This dude, he takes shit personally. When people talk shit to Luka on the court, oh, he will go at them. This is what the biggest megastars do. Like, I think Jordan was way better than LeBron, and I think there's a lot of metrics to back that up. But I will say this for LeBron, Jason Terry embarrassed him in the finals in 2011. Embarrassed him. For the rest of Jason Terry's career, every time he played LeBron lit his ass up and one side down the other. It didn't matter if it was the regular season or the playoffs. He was going to put 50 on that dude. He was going to dunk on him. He was going to pull up for a 3 on him. He looked for Jason Terry for the rest of his career. That's what the greats do. It's what Luka does. Part of that is an anger thing. It's pushed in the right direction. Luka does have anger issues. He's competitive as shit. Now, if he could focus some of that into the off-season dietary thing, that would help. Because if you're top 3 and you're overweight, what would happen if you're actually in the best shape of your life and ready to go? I mean, I don't know. I think the 2020 BLM hurt the NBA as well. It did. It did. But remember, those viewership numbers have been going down since Jordan because it's the give and take of because the NFL is about the brand, the NFL brand, and then the individual franchises. It's about the helmet. It's not about the individual player. We all, Mahomes is exceptional, awesome. Brady before him was awesome. Troy Aikman was awesome. You have your favorite players and all that, but it's about the teams. It's about the teams and the style of play. It's about that kind of thing. In the NBA, it's about the player. It's about the individual. Each individual player can be their own brand. LeBron, Jordan, all of them. And when you have when you have Babe Ruth essentially playing for the Chicago Bulls, I mean, I don't know. People need to go back and watch The Last Ride again with Jordan. All you, especially LeBron fans, go back and watch The Last Ride again. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It gives you at least a taste or a glimpse of just what a massive star Michael Jordan was. All stars, actors, singers, any kind of entertainers, he was the top guy above everybody. I don't care if it's Jack Nicholson. I don't care if it's Michael Jackson. I don't care who. Shit. Garth Brooks. I'm trying to think of it. The biggest. Whitney Houston. Metallica. He was bigger than all of them. This dude, when he traveled, or he even went around the world, but anywhere he went, he had to stay. He was cooped up in his hotel room. He couldn't leave because there were thousands of people. Even on away games, it didn't matter where he went in the world. He was stuck in a hotel room because he couldn't go and have dinner because there were thousands of people and a mob outside just wanting to get a look at Michael Jordan. There's no player today. There's no player today, not LeBron, not anybody ever in their career, nobody today that would be stuck in their hotel room because there's a crowd of thousands, just trying to get a look, a glimpse of the great one. But that's what it was for him. So, yeah, I think the BLM thing had a bad look to it. I think that it was divisive. And I think a lot of middle America, a lot of people in the South, it kind of turned them off to the NBA. It didn't turn me off just because I'm like, y'all can support what you want to support. I'm here for the game. That's just me. I'm not going to let, because look, I've been watching movies for years and all of these people are a bunch of communist, leftist, dumb fucks that are making movies. So it's either I don't watch movies anymore. You can't watch Marvel if that's a thing for you because all of them are stupid as crap on their politics. But you have to let that go and just watch the art, or whether it's on the field, on the court, or on your TV, or at the movies, or hell, if you're a rock fan, your favorite rock bands are probably stupid as hell too. If you're into hip hop, probably stupid as hell politically. Well, I love Eminem. Well, he's a dumbass when it comes to politics. A lot of these people are. They don't understand the way things work. They're all been propagandized by the Hollywood system and all that. So you have to let all that go and just enjoy what's there. All right, so that's what I did with basketball. I just, whatever, let it go. I'm not going to let other people's politics dictate where I'm going to get my entertainment value from. If that makes sense. Rye Guy 1218. This league needs to get investigated. Something stinks to high heaven with this. That's all I'm saying. Something stinks to high heaven because there's no reason on earth, if you're going to trade Luka, that you wouldn't take him to the open market and get max value. I'm not saying AD isn't great value. If he's part of a trade package, great. Excuse me. If he's part of a trade package, that's fine. If he's the best player, single player you can get, and it's probably someone like an 80 that because you're not going to get like an SGA, you're not going to get another young guy. Another team is building all around because now you're just swapping. You know, you're not going to get Jokic or any of that, and you wouldn't trade Luka for him because you already got Luka. They already got. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to get the Greek Freak because they already won a title. They got that connection with him. They don't, even though it's kind of equal value, but you don't trade for equal value. That's not how this works. So the best thing you would do is get a guy who's in his prime, like an AD, but there would have to be 4 or 5 draft picks, and maybe another player or two more than what they got, and you would probably have gotten that on the open market. So no open market. You didn't get full value. You had a year and a half left on the contract. There's no hurry. There's no rush. That's the kind of deal you do at the last minute and you can't sign them. Then you got to trade them and get whatever value you can. That's the kind of deal they got a year and a half before his damn contract is up. So there's no hurry. So if all the logical stuff comes out, or if you can eliminate all the logical reasons, because you can't tell me, well, his leg's about to fall off. He's got gangrene or something like that. Because then the doctors would come in and just null and void the trade. If either one of them had some kind of, crippling problem, Luka's had a leg problem for like a year. NBA rigged for the Lakers. That's exactly what it looks like. And then the Mavericks will their new their group. All right, think about this. And keep an eye out. If anyone wants to follow this long term, keep an eye out. I can't remember the ownership group for for the Mavericks now, but I do know they are heavy. Where they made their money is in gambling, gaming, Vegas. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. Does the NBA start working with a certain gambling firm that the Maverick owners have a stake in or own? Because there's going to be some kind of kickback. And if the Maverick owners are into gambling, sports books, all that, you know what I'm saying? Something that's way more valuable than Luka to them, to their bottom line. Just look for that in the future. Look for if the NBA is doing some kind of off thing, and all the other owners are fine with it, and all the other owners are fine. Then this bitch got rigged up. Sorry, Numbskull, but go Eagles. I can't stand KC. You're talking to the wrong guy there, Ryan Billy. I mean, thanks for the super chat. I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. I am not. The Eagles, the entire city of Philadelphia, can be hit by an asteroid, all dead, millions. Wouldn't affect me much. I'm just saying, I got no hate for KC. Fun fact, Kansas City, the Chiefs used to be in Dallas. They were the Dallas Texans. And then they moved to Kansas City, which opened up the Dallas market for the Cowboys. So they were Dallas before the Cowboys. So I don't hate on them. And Mahomes got Texas ties. I'm pulling for KC. Thank you, sir. Wet blanket. Rage Against the Machine. Rages for the machine. Somewhat, yeah. Yeah. True. They do now. Kind of sold that whole thing out, didn't they? Rye Guy 1218. The politics is bad, but gambling is rampant. Like it seems higher amount of players getting popped for gambling as of late are NBA players. Yeah. But I'm just saying, look for the NBA to do some kind of deal with the conglomerate that owns the Mavericks now. There's going to be something that's may be worth billions of dollars to the Mavericks owners, but because it would have taken something like that for this kind of deal to go down. Yeah, yeah. So it's like you go to the ownership group, and say, "Look, we need Luka." Like, whoa, whoa, oh, it's Luka. Yeah, hear me out. In the next coming couple of years, we're going to look to do a league wide gambling arm of this thing, and you could be the central focus of that. That could be worth billions of dollars to you. So we need this deal. We need Luka in LA. So we'll do this deal worth billions. So what's Luka worth now? And of course, that group not having the emotional connection to Luka like Mark Cuban had with Dirk. Okay, take him. That's what I'm saying. Rock Guy 1218. Green Day is another one where they have good music, but politically they're dumb as rocks. Yeah. And that little punk ass lead singer there's was it Joey something? I don't know. Little dumbass with the crooked tooth. Uh I remember years ago when new metal was really taking off. He was like, "Oh, rap metal, that just sucks. It's bullshit." I'm like, that's because they blow you off the stage. You don't have a chance. You know, I mean, think about it. Who hypes the crowd up more, Green Day or Korn? Oh, or Limp Bizkit back in the day. Those crowds were insanity. It's because their music was hype as shit. Groove metal out the ass. Green Day sucks, man. They got a few songs, but God, there's just so many different ways. Especially that lead singer. I can't remember his name. Screw his name. No one cares what your name is. Yeah. Punk bands aren't punk anymore. They suck up to the socialists. Yeah. Well, punk bands are pop punk and pop punk. I thought I had made that term up back in like the late 90s because I myself was like in a local rock band or whatever. And I'd be like, oh, this pop punk. And I'd say pop punk. So, like a derogatory term. Like, this isn't real punk. This isn't the Misfits. This isn't Black Flag. It isn't one of those kind. It's a shit balls poppy, Cracker Jack box prize kind of band. Blah, whatever. Walmart band. John Dry. I love Phil Anselmo's music like Down and Pantera, but he supported Hillary. Then he changed his political affiliation from liberal to satanic. At least he owns it and ain't lying. Yeah, yeah. Phil, you got to give Phil a pass. Phil's not all there. I'm just saying. Phil is not all there. And I don't appreciate him still using the Pantera name after Dimebag and Vinny have passed away. Because if Vinny was here, that shit wouldn't be happening at all. But, everyone loves money. And Down wasn't that good. I didn't like that. I understand a lot of people like Down. To me, the only thing Phil Anselmo ever did that was worth a shit was Pantera. Down was okay. It just didn't do it for me. John Dry. KC's scoreboards have Texas Tech logos on them. It's Mahomes, damn it. Big 12. Mr. L, what is up, man? Green Day has their own signature Keurig coffee makers. Not shocking. In case anyone was in the market for such a thing and or have zero taste. I believe you are. I will give this. Anyone I shit on, I can give you kind of the opposite. I can give them props when they deserve it. So when they were coming up, they came up in the regular punk scene. And excuse me, damn. Should have brought some water. Anyway, they came up in the regular punk scene, and they, to their credit, I mean, their first tour, they weren't on a label or anything, and they were paying for it just by selling their own T-shirts, sleeping on fans' couches, one little bus. I mean, they did it the hard way, the punk way, and they did sign to a major label pretty soon afterwards. But I'll give them credit where the credit was due. But any part of them that ever considered them being, we don't sell out, that's been a long time ago. Yeah, and their own curate. Oh crap. Well, guys, I don't have a whole lot more to talk about with this thing. It they aren't in the same league as Fugazi. No, Fugazi's got a little different deal there. But it's just disappointing as shit. I mean, Nico Harrison with Dallas has been kicking ass, doing so many great moves, and then this. I mean, look, if we find out that he's wanted for murder or something in Eastern Europe, talking about Luka, there's got to be something. All right, so it's either the NBA rigged it, or there's some really bad shit. Like, did he assault a woman in a nightclub, sexually assault, or there's got to be something horrible. Did he get like a American History X swastika tattoo on his chest or something? There's got to be something weird going on. I don't know what. It's more than this dude eats too many chili fries from Sonic and shit. There's got to be something about the guy that's going on. Because all indications and all reports were he was going to sign the Supermax deal with Dallas. So it's not about asking out of Dallas. What was Luka hanging out with Puff Daddy? Yeah. Did he attend one of those white parties? Odd name. Kind of a little bit. I'm kind of offended. A little racist. How some nasty ass party called the White Party. Bastards. But yeah, that's all I got to talk about it. I just had to come on here. I don't think I've ever been this disappointed with the Mavs. And I saw them in 06 lose. It was some bullshit Dwayne Wade call or calls. Like you couldn't touch him. You couldn't defend him without a whistle being blown. All that kind of, I've seen a lot of first round outs in the playoffs with the Dallas Mavericks, but this is the absolute most gutted shit I've ever seen. Because now you're with Luka, you're in the upper echelon of the league with Luka because you've got this guy who's like he's a generational talent. Anthony Davis is great, but he's not a generational talent. Could have been. He could have been if he had been healthy, possibly. Just because of the different skills he has, the ball handling skills for a big guy is insane. But when you look through the last since 2018. Last year was like the first year since 2018 he played 70 games. Yeah, I appreciate that, John. But yeah, this isn't the Mavericks that I fell in love with. This isn't the Mavericks with one of the most passionate owners in all of sports and Mark Cuban. And stupid ass politics with him too, by the way. He can be a complete tool. But as an owner, unquestionable loyalty and love. And this dude would go all out. He didn't care if the Mavericks made money or lost money. And in many years, hearing him say it, they lost money. This new ownership group may not be too on board with giving a player a super max and going into the red. And they were already in the red. They would have went more into the red. But is what it is. Luka's out of here. The Mavericks don't give two fucking shits about winning anymore. At least not. They can still win. Like I said, they can win a couple of titles, but it's more than that. It's more than that. When you have a generational talent who is your guy, who's looking to be here, and forever we're like, just do whatever you can. Don't let Luka leave. You know, we don't want him to demand a trade. We want him here his whole career. And now you got to see him in a Lakers uniform. Of all things, a Lakers uniform. I'd rather see him in a San Antonio Spurs uniform. I'd rather see him in a Celtics uniform. Even a Miami Heat uniform. Or an OKC uniform. Anybody but the freaking Lakers, man. Jack Nicholson can blow me. Anyway, thanks for watching this live crap. And I'll be back with some football stuff. We're going to talk about coaches in the hot seat for next year. That's the next one. All right. Bye.